the Philadelphia 76ers have just emerged as a potential team that, of course, could actually be looking to trade for Portland Trailblazers star Damian Lillard. What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more NBA news to, of course, be talking about with you guys. As most of you have probably heard by now, the Trailblazers did something pretty controversial where they decided to actually not hire Jason Kidd as their new, head coach. He's actually gone to Dallas now, and it was reported that, of course, Damian Lillard really wanted him as head coach. Now it's, being confirmed that Clippers assistant Chauncey Billups has reached an agreement on a 5-year deal to become the new head coach of the Portland Trailblazers. Sources tell Woj and ESPN. The deal will include a team option on the 5th year. Now, I don't think Damian Lillard will be happy about this at all. In fact, I think this could actually be the time now where he requests a trade. I think as well that Chauncey Billups could actually be, or Chauncey, I don't even remember how to say his first name. Would say Chauncey Billups or to say Billups, really. I think it would actually be good for him if Lillard did request a trade, because I think if he can have a fresh new team next year, I think that'd be really nice, because I think he could be a very nice development coach in this league, work with a lot of the young guys. Like, let's just say they traded Dame to a team like Philadelphia now, who are, of course, interested. I definitely think you could get a lot of assets out of the Philadelphia 76ers. For example, what the trade would actually reportedly be is Ben Simmons would be in it, Matisse Thybulle, Shake Milton, and about 4 to 5 of first-round picks. If you can get an all-star and a bunch of first-round picks out of Damian Lillard, I think that would be really good for them. Of course, Matisse Thybulle, Ben Simmons, and Shake Milton are still all relatively young. Plus, those first-round picks come in really handy. Then they can, of course, trade CJ McCollum. Let's just say they trade him to... who even knows, really, where they go about this. Probably get, like, a first-round pick and a couple seconds back and a nice role player as well. You could trade, Nurkic for probably a couple of seconds or a protected first. Trade Covington for a couple seconds. I definitely think there is a lot you can, get out of this Damian Lillard trade. And I think it works for, Billups. Like, if he comes in and he has a new team that maybe looks like a bunch of young players around Ben Simmons, Shake Milton, Matisse Thybulle, and whoever they go out and sign in free agency, I definitely think they'll probably be able to bring back Norman Powell if they overpay to, try and keep him. And then you could be looking at a team like Ben Simmons at point guard, I'd say Powell at shooting guard, and then Thybulle at small forward. Probably like a Derrick Jones at power forward if they decide to keep him. And then I think they'd look to, go out and get a young center, in the draft. Or if maybe they'll just go ahead and try and sign a young center in general. Who that would be, I'm not exactly too sure. Probably a center that can at least shoot, like has range. They could definitely go after. But again, I think this Portland Trailblazers team becomes pretty fun, to watch. It'll be like that young OKC team we saw a couple of years ago that still had veterans and were able to make, the playoffs. So I just think this would be perfect for them. While the Philadelphia 76ers, they improved so much out of this because I just don't think Ben Simmons works. I think, they need a playmaker still. So, of course, you bring in Dame. But also, Dame can be a really nice shot creator and catch-and-shoot player. And then I know, let's say all of these, go down. And they're able to bring back, of course, Seth Curry and Danny Green, which I think they'll be able to do. Could you imagine that? Damian Lillard at point guard, Seth Curry at shooting guard, Danny Green at small forward, Tobias Harris at power forward, and Joel Embiid at center. That should definitely be, in my opinion, a conference finals team. If not a finals team. Plus, they would have a really, really interesting bench. Of course, Tyrese Maxey would come off the bench. I think Dwight Howard would most likely be back. And then I think they'd sign like a veteran power forward here and there. They could even try and get Robert Covington back in this deal. Actually, yeah, they could really try and do that. Like, if they traded Ben Simmons, and a bunch of other players as well, and of course they've got rid of Mike Scott's $5 million contract, they might have enough cap to take on Dame and Covington, which I actually think they could definitely do. And they'd probably chuck in a bunch of extra second-round picks, etc., to try and make this happen. So, again, what that team would actually probably look like is now, I think Robert Covington would start at small forward now. And then, of course, off the bench, you would have, Danny Green as well with Tyrese Maxey and Dwight Howard. And, of course, they'll just go out and sign a bunch more veterans in free agency You know, George Hill, I think, will come back as well. You know, definitely expect to see him back with the Philadelphia 76ers. And of course, you know, once you go from there, Korkmaz will probably still be on the team. And then, yeah, again, more veterans in free agency, whether that be like a Trevor Ariza type player. I think they could, you know, definitely go and try and get out of, you know, free agency as well. You know, those veteran type players always help out. But even just bringing back George Hill, that's another thing they can try and do. I'm sure he probably won't want too much money. But will he want to come back on the Philadelphia 76ers? I hope so. You know, because I do want the 76ers to contend for a little bit longer. And again, a trio of Damian Lillard, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid, that's 2 guaranteed All-Stars plus Tobias Harris, in my opinion. Could definitely be an All-Star if he wanted to, you know, averaging 20 plus points per game. And then again, Seth Curry averaged 13, to 14 points per game as well. And then Danny Green, as you know, off the bench, potentially really good 3-and-D. He has improved on shooting again. Like, I mean, he wasn't having a great shooting season last year, you know, when it came to the bubble. But 40% from 3 this season is pretty insane. Plus, Dwight Howard comes back, George Hill as well, and then even Covington. Like, Covington, I know, didn't have a good season, but I know he loved it in Philadelphia, and I definitely think he could really get back to what he was doing. He just got to improve that shooting, because his defense is still somewhat there, but I think now that he won't be playing small ball power forward anymore, maybe even going back to that small ball, small forward might help. Again, 38% from 3 is alright, but he was very inconsistent this year. If he can get back up to, his 17, 18 seasons where he was hitting like 38% from 3, but he was doing it on like more of a consistent basis, I think would be a really nice thing. And just getting that defense back up, even though it's still relatively there, I think that'd be alright. And then again, I think Norman Powell would be inclined to rejoin the Trailblazers, especially if he was around another All-Star like Ben Simmons. And then I think they would kind of, work through the team and work from here. But of course, if you haven't already, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for the latest NBA content and NBA news. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel and my IRL/vlogging channels. And don't forget to check out my podcast as well if you haven't already, which I will all link in the description down below. But as I was saying, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Through the wastelands, through the highways, and